part 2 of making tags with numbers. These are the 2 tags we've made in the first part. I will link that for you below in case you missed it and you want to see how I made these. Otherwise, we'll keep going with tag number 3. Welcome, this is Barbara from Vienna, Austria. Tag number 3 is going to be this one. I've already inked up the edges on the front and the back. And for this one, I wanted to use some of the new Tim Holtz numbers I got. And I thought I would try these, 83. But they are way too shiny and new. So I need to do something about that. I have here my sanding block. I got this at the hardware store. It's this thing here where you can just put some sandpaper, wrap it around like this. I have no idea what this is called. It's just a block that helps you hold on to the sandpaper better. But if you just have sandpaper, you can obviously also do that with your fingers. You don't have to have this, but this is really nice and convenient, and it was very cheap. So I'm just gonna go over this, create some scratches, rough it up. Yes, that's definitely more like it. So now you see the difference. I am going to use my Distress ink on it as well, but there, see a huge difference. I don't like shiny and new for my vintage projects. That will do. So now I'm just going to ink it up. Now they look great. I love this now. Look at this. Beautiful. Love it, love it. So since I love uneven numbers, I'm not gonna do it like this. I'm gonna do it like this. And I thought maybe we could just do partial numbers. I don't want to have the whole thing. I want to have it something like this. And then we'll cut those off. You can still read what number it is. But of course, again, we need something underneath that. This here is also from packaging. So there's something about this that just isn't working for me. So I need to switch it up. I think, yeah, I don't know what it is, but This is not gonna work, although I did like the idea. So what if we just did something else instead? Yeah, I like that a lot better. Just having the one number like this. So I will glue everything down and then we'll see where we go from there. So once everything is glued down, this is what it looks like. And for this one, instead of putting the hole reinforcement there, I thought, what if we try to add a piece of cheesecloth like this and try to punch through it with an eyelet. I don't know if this is going to work well, but we're going to give it a try. I'm going to use my big hole. Actually, I'm going to use my washi tape again to hold it down. I'm using my big hole for my crocodile. I'm going to try to punch through the hole that's already there in the tag. Okay, it's good enough so that we can see where it needs to be cut. So I'll just take some of those threads away, my scissors. That should be good enough to put the eyelet through. So front looks like this. The back looks like this. It looks like the back isn't holding it in place completely. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to use my glue to just glue that down around it, and then that should be fine. Yeah, once that's dry, that'll be fine. And of course, we need some ink on this as well. I think the ink just gives it a little more depth. I mean, grunge of course too, but it also gives it more depth. So just added little bits here and there. And I think we can call this tag finished. This is the last one that's left. And I thought, let's do something with some tickets. And don't think I want to do pink. No. I do like this one. These would also be cool. But I think I will go with this one. I'll go ahead and ink around this, and I'll ink around this, and then we'll move on from there. Okay, everything is inked. And I thought as a background piece, I could use now this, what I stamped before. I've already inked around it, and I thought this could go something like this. So let's check out our scraps and see if I have anything else here that might work. This is a scrap of some circles that I cut out of a cardboard, and this would actually be cool as well, but of course it needs to be inked up. I will try to do that with this brushed corduroy, see what that looks like. That looks promising. So I will let that dry. It has dried now, and since it was too light for my liking, I also added some ground espresso distress stain over that. So this is now what it looks like. So the lighter parts you see here still are from the brushed corduroy, and the dark one are the ground espresso. I think this is okay. I will glue things down now. So everything is glued down now. I did add this piece on top because there was a weird gap here. And for the top, I want to make another one of those tab things, although I have to see if it's actually gonna be able to cover this hole. And I took the scrap that was left over from this paper. I do the same thing as I did before. So I'm gonna ink it up. Well, first let me see if it will actually cover the hole. Just barely, so it won't even really stick out. That's gonna look weird because I do want it to stick out like this. So let me think what to do with that hole. So I found a piece like this. This is from a punch that I have, and I've inked it up with my vintage photo. And I think if I cut this in half, then I could put that like this, and then put the tab over it, like that. And since that's gonna look weird on the back, we should do the same thing there. So that's the back, and that's the front, and that works for me. And I do also want to add something there. So from these tickets, I thought, what if I just cut out this smaller number? See what that looks like. And I'm going to try my tumbled glass distress stain, which is also new. We'll see if that will even show up nicely on the brown. I don't know. Let's give it a try. I always put them in the same place, right? I don't know why, that just works for me. Ooh, look at this. I like it. So that's one. And then we'll do two. That's beautiful. And three. Oh, wow. Check it out. Okay, it fades quite a bit once it dries. It dries instantly, but still they're beautiful accents. Wow. Maybe I could add just some more blue here. Tag number 4. Since we have a little more time, I thought maybe we'd do another 1 or 2 smaller tags. Why not? We're here, let's do this. And I realized another source for numbers would be your paper stashes or your designer papers. So the one I have that I found some numbers in is the wallflower one from Tim Holtz. Just to show you some examples. So for example, here we have the 45. Here we have 2s. Here, of course, we have ledger numbers. Here's numbers. I'm sure in your other paper pads you will also be able to find some numbers. Here we have these, the 5, the 2, the 25, the 3, there's a 6. So go through your papers. Look here, we have these as well. So I'm sure you have more than you realize. And I decided I wanted to try to do something maybe with this 5 here, or maybe the 4, although again I like the odd numbers, so maybe I'll just try to do something with this 5. And to do that, I'm going to start by making a tag shape again. I've already coffee dyed this piece of paper. So it's the same material as I used on this one in episode 1, but it's a bit smaller, and I'll make a little smaller tag, why not? So just to see in comparison, smaller. And I will use this to cut my corners, because this is so convenient. So we have another tag shape. I will wait with punching a hole on the top because maybe I want to do something different. I am not sure yet. So first I'm going to start off by cutting out my number. Then I'm going to edge all around the tag and the number because that just gives me, it just looks different to work with. I also have this piece of corrugated cardboard from some packaging. I thought that would be kind of a neat background, but I want to do something with this. I think this shape is fine. I'm happy for it to have an irregular shape. I have this random gesso here. I think I bought this locally somewhere. I never used this one. I want to try to add some here. So now I let that dry for a little bit. I just had another thought. Maybe I will try to add some of these adhesive pearls, and I thought maybe I could add them on 4 corners to make them look like rivets. Maybe if we paint over them with gesso and then some other colors, we can see what that looks like. I don't trust the adhesive on these, so I'm gonna use our glitter glue. And I will add some gesso on top of those, and I think I'll use my finger just because it's easier. Whoops. That was a lot. I need more than one coat because they are smooth. They're kind of resisting it a little bit. Okay, I have tried it once with my heat gun, so I'll go over them a second time now. All right, that's looking good. They seem to be pretty much covered. And next I thought I would try to add a little bit more of like grungy colors. So I'm going to try and start off with some buff titanium. I hope this one actually hasn't dried up yet. I haven't worked with my acrylics forever. Yeah, I guess it still works. It's probably all we need. Perfect. And I will use a dry brush. So I'm starting off with my lightest color. Just kind of brush over it. Gently going over the rivets as well. Fake rivets. Okay, I don't need to cover all the white. I think it's fine to have some of the white gesso showing through. So we are going for grungy. And now I'm going to use just a tiny bit. I have this raw umber. And I will try to just put a little tiny drop here to mix into the buff titanium, because I don't want to go that dark. That was too much. I am no expert at mixing colors, just so you know. All right, this looks pretty good to me. So we'll just go over it in the same way. Getting some different shades going on. Maybe take some of this darker one and add it. And finally, I'll add just some of the raw umber. Just try to kind of clean out some of the paint that's on my brush. I'll just put this on the tip. Like that. And try to very gently, just kind of touching it. Because I don't want this to be all over. I just want it to have some accents. And I'm covering the rivets as well. So this is what it looks like now. It's very grungy, and I think this will work quite well with this grungy 5. So let's let that dry. Once that is dry, I will add some vintage photo as well. That just makes it more grungy. Especially on that white gesso, that looks amazing. So if we put it here, this is what it would look like. And I will also again add some cheesecloth underneath. I'm a cheesecloth junkie. I don't think it needs a lot more than that, because that is wonderfully grungy. But I still need to figure out what I will do as a topper. Since this is so dimensional already, I thought I might as well add another, or add a charm, and I found this leafy one. I've already attached it to a jump ring. So I will do that before I glue these down. And now I see that it's actually way too long because it's gonna go over my number. I don't really like that. So I'm not gonna do that. I'll just glue everything down now and then maybe that's it. The only other thing I want to add is some of my burnt sienna calligraphy ink. I will first put that on the rivets because that will kind of give them a shine as well. And it's fine if it like kind of runs off the rivet, I don't mind. I apologize for the knocking or the hammering if you can hear that. My neighbor is apparently doing some redecoration in his apartment. This has been going on all morning and I can't seem to avoid it completely. This is the final result. Everything has dried and I'm very happy with it, even though it only has 3 layers, but I think really this is all it needs. Love the grunginess of it. So to recap, these are our 5 tags. These we made in part 1. These are from part 2. Maybe you have a favorite. I would love to hear if you do. I think mine actually might be this one, closely followed by this one. But I kind of like them all. And if you don't like any, that's okay too. So I hope you found some inspiration for making your own number tags for your journals. I would love it if you would give this a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you want to see more if you haven't already. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Love you guys. Mwah, mwah.